Hey everyone, I wanted to go over with you some things to remember about the second exploratory essay as you get ready to submit that really soon. So let's take a look first of all at the things you should have done by now. First, you should have read the assignment and the rubric. There are a couple things that are different from the last one, so make sure you read those things. Make sure you read my feedback on the previous exploratory essay and your proposal and your saws to make sure that you're addressing any concerns and building on your strengths. Okay, so think about where to apply feedback where necessary. So for example, if in your first exploratory essay I commented on introducing quotations, that's something that you should work on this essay. And then make sure that you're watching and reading the required resources. You have a lot of resources available to help you do well on this, and there's definitely a correlation so far this semester between strong work on the writing assignments and the steps that you've put into it, the time that you've taken to watch the resources and so on. All right, so when it's time for you to start thinking about organizing your essay, once you feel like you've done enough research and you're ready to move on, I want you to remember to gather your ideas and do some pre-writing, okay? It's generally not a good idea to try to start with the first sentence of your introduction, but do the work that comes into planning your essay, whatever that looks like. And then write what the writer Anne Lamott calls a shitty first draft, okay? Give yourself time to draft. A lot of the times if you're feeling writer's block, it's because you're putting super high pressure on yourself. So give yourself time to write a draft that you can return to in a day and make better. Okay, when you have a draft, I strongly recommend that you do a few things to check for organization. Underline your topic sentences and make sure each paragraph stays focused on the one topic sentence. Highlight your quotations to make sure that the quotations fit and that you aren't overdoing it with quotations. Use another color to highlight paraphrase and make sure that you're citing all of that correctly. There should be a lot of quotation and paraphrase in a research paper, right? And then underline your return sentences too to show that you're returning back to your point and making your paragraphs nice and focused and reader friendly. And build in time for revising and editing, okay? So let's take a look at the assignment. I want to go over here to week 8, and there is a link here to the exploratory project assignment. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Hopefully you've read all these tips for success. And here is the assignment. Okay, so it's almost identical to the first exploratory essay. You want to inform your audience about what you've learned through the research that you've done on your topic. You're not going to take a position. You're going to try to give equal time to do two different sides of a debate, two opposing viewpoints or alternative ways of looking at something. It should demonstrate the skills that I've listed here. All right, so let's look at the requirements for a C. If you don't meet all these requirements, you're looking at a grade of D. Okay, so you must cover the following content: informed and thoughtful information about the debate around your question, covering two opposing sides, as I said. But also this, your thoughts on possibilities for future research. That could be your own research or for what experts research. What's still left to explore? If you expand on this essay, where would you start? And so on. This is something that many of you forgot in the first exploratory essay. I want you to be thinking like a researcher here and what is left to do. Okay, and then here are your source requirements. Same as last time, you need at least 3 written sources that are credible for college level research, so you need to evaluate them carefully. It's probably a good idea to use a scholarly journal article now that you've done a source analysis worksheet on one, but you don't need to. You do need to use at least one source located through a library database, and the way that I'll know that you've met that is that you do the works cited page correctly. I'll talk about that in a minute. You must integrate quotations and paraphrase effectively and cite them correctly in MLA form. That means not overdoing the quotations. It means using quotation sandwiches like we talked about in our most recent review session. It means accurately representing what your sources are saying, using that material ethically and responsibly. And then you must have a works cited list. I'll talk about that a little bit more too. And then, of course, the English 101 stuff, right? At least 5 or 6 cohesive paragraphs with smooth transitions, clear sentences. It should be reader friendly so that readers don't have to work terribly hard to understand you, okay? And the length minimum is 900 words, which for most of you is about 3 pages, not counting your works cited list. The formatting directions are here. Please take a look at that. Indent each paragraph. Give your handout paper an original title too. That's not on here, but I'd like you to do that. The deadline is Monday, but you can have a grace period until Tuesday night if you would like, and the submission directions are here. All right, so this rubric looks extremely similar to the previous one. Let me show you a couple of new things here. Sources are synthesized, used in conversations with each other, in conversation with each other. What this means is rather than simply summarizing one source at a time, I want you to do some higher level thinking and look for patterns of agreement or disagreement. The sample paper on homework does a good job of that, and I've posted a couple of different resources to help you with that as well. So cite multiple sources if they agree on the same idea. Show us where experts agree on things and possibly where they disagree too. The other thing that's new is more details in your works cited list. Now, some of you already understand MLA works cited lists and you are on top of things already. Your works cited list needs to be more than just a list of websites. You need to have authors, titles, the titles of the publications that the articles were published in, publication dates, and then you also need to tell us where you got sources from database OneSearch or one of the databases inside OneSearch. I'm not going to be picky about italics or quotation marks or capitalization or punctuation, but I do want you to have these elements. The only exception, of course, is if you do not have an author. Then your citation will begin with the title. And remember that your in-text citations must match the works cited list citations. There are videos under writing tips and resources with more information if you want to get ahead of the game on your works cited list. Okay, so those are the requirements for the assignment. Remember that you have lots of resources available already to you, including the sample papers, handouts that Bill and I have posted, videos that Bill and I have made available to you. And I'm here as well. You can always sign up for an appointment. You can sign up for an appointment with Bill. So I'd like you to take this essay seriously, obviously, but I also want you to enjoy telling me all about what you've learned. I want you to imagine an academic audience, not just me, but your classmates and college audience in general as you write, and think about why they'd be interested in knowing more about your essay. Okay, have fun with this, enjoy it, and I look forward to reading what you come up with.